In this tutorial, I will overall explain the code generated in our blind example. In this tutorial, I will overall explain the code generated in our blind example. As we know, JAX-WS is the framework for creating SOAP-based web services. As we know, JAX-WS is the Java framework for creating SOAP-based web services. As we know, any framework provides architecture and infrastructure for a problem. As we know, any framework provides architecture and infrastructure for a problem. The problem here is to generate SOAP XML and consume SOAP XML. For the business logic, what we write. The problem here is to generate SOAP XML and consume SOAP XML. For the business logic, what we write. JAX-WS hides all the complexities from the Java developer and help him write only the Java code. JAX-WS hides all the complexities from the Java developer and help him write only the Java code. JAX-WS is responsible. JAX-WS is responsible to generate SOAP messages based on the Java code what you write. JAX-WS is responsible to generate SOAP messages based on the Java code what you write. JAX-WS provides APIs to generate SOAP messages both on the server side and client side. JAX-WS provides APIs to generate SOAP messages on both server side and client side. These are the programs on the server side. These are the programs on the server side. And this is the client program what we are written on the client side. This is the program written by us for adding two numbers. This program was written by us for adding two numbers, and these files are generated by MyEclipse. These files are generated by MyEclipse on the server side. You see a service endpoint interface class. You see Sun JAX-WS XML file. You see web.xml. All these files are generated by MyEclipse. Now we have to bundle all this into a web application and deploy it in the server. Now we have to bundle all this into a web application and deploy it into the web server. This is the client-side program what we have written. JAX-WS artifacts. JAX-WS artifacts. For the blind web service what we have created, or for any example what you write, this will be the number of files on the server side and this will be the number of files on the client side. For any web service what you create, you will see at least this many files on the server side and at least this many files on the client side. I have listed the server side files. I have listed the client side files. The server side files are the web.xml modifications, the web.xml modifications, the service endpoint interface class, something called as Sun JAX-WS.xml file, two auto-generated classes, and a WSDL file. These are the artifacts generated for our blind example. These are the artifacts generated for our blind example. Modifications in the web.xml includes WS Servlet Context Listener configuration and WS Servlet configuration. Modification in the web.xml includes WS Servlet Context Listener configuration and WS Servlet configuration. Then we have the service endpoint interface class. Then we have the service endpoint interface class. Based on the MyMath program what we have written, a program called as MyMathDelegate is generated. The MyMathDelegate is the program in my example which is called as the service endpoint interface class. More on that I'll be talking about in the further slide. MyMathDelegate is called as the service endpoint interface because that is the one which has got the web service annotation. MyMathDelegate is called as the service endpoint interface class because that has got the web service annotation. MyMathDelegate is responsible to call MyMath program. sun-jaxws.xml is a JaxWS related configuration file. We'll be doing certain configurations there also. At the time of deployment, two classes will be generated in the web server directly. You will not be creating this. When you deploy your web application, these two classes will be auto-generated. Those are JAXB related classes responsible to generate XML from object and object to XML. Responsible to generate XML from object and object from XML. Also, you must deploy the WSDL file. The WSDL file is used by the client to understand about the web service. The client-side generation will start from the WSDL file. Only if the server exposes a WSDL file, client will be able to understand about the service. The prerequisite to understand JaxWS web service is basic web development concepts using servlet technology. The prerequisite to understand JaxWS web service is basic web development concepts using servlet technology. JaxWS is annotation based. Means any program you want to expose as a web service, you annotate with web service annotation. In our example, I have a program called as MyMath, which I want to expose as a web service. I have a program to add two numbers. Why I want to expose it as a web service? Because even other languages like .NET, PHP, they can also invoke this logic if this program is exposed as a web service. The communication between the other technology and this application happens using SOAP over HTTP protocol. The communication between the other application and this particular application what we have created happens through SOAP protocol. SOAP travels on top of HTTP protocol. So the concept is to create a web application which works with the HTTP protocol and then to send messages through SOAP protocol. The concept is to do the communication using HTTP protocol and send SOAP messages on top of HTTP protocol. For that, this particular logic should be exposed and the communication should happen through SOAP format. Messages should be sent and received with SOAP format. The client should send a SOAP message. The server should receive the SOAP message and send the response SOAP message. All this should happen dynamically. For any logic what we have written, the framework is responsible to dynamically generate SOAP response, also to dynamically read the SOAP request. As I explained, this will be the server-side artifacts. The web.xml changes, the service endpoint interface, sun-jaxws XML to auto-generated classes and WSDL. In my example, MyMath is the program to expose as a web service. In my example, MyMath is the program to expose as a web service. To expose any program as a web service, you should annotate it with web service annotation. To expose any program as a web service, you should annotate it with web service annotation. But I am not directly putting any annotation on this program. In Java, it is considered as a good habit. not to put all these nasty annotations directly in the actual class. In Java, it is not considered a good habit to put all these nasty annotations directly in the actual class which contain the logic. That is because technology changes often. That is because technology changes often. These annotations are nothing ultimate. These annotations are nothing ultimate and they are never going to be final. And JAX-WS itself is nothing ultimate and JAX-WS is not the final. So it is better to create a similar class. With annotation and keep the actual class clean and neat. That is what we have done. So we call this kind of design as delegate pattern. The web service annotation, it can be directly made on MyMath program also. In that case, MyMath will become service endpoint interface. But as I told, it is not considered a good practice to put all the nasty annotations directly on the actual logic. That is why I have written a delegate class. It is very similar. The methods are similar in syntax with the actual program. The actual program contains the actual logic. The delegate class calls the actual program. Now onwards, the delegate program, that is the actual web service. The delegate program, that is the actual web service, it is called as a service endpoint interface class. The delegate program is the actual web service. This is what I call it as service endpoint interface. In JAX-WS, often you use the word service endpoint interface. In my example, MyMath delegate is the service endpoint interface. We also notice that web service annotation takes few attributes. Which we can configure, like the name of the web service, the port name of the web service, and the namespace. In the SOAP message, this particular namespace will be coded. When the communication happens between the client and the server, in the SOAP message, this namespace will be mentioned. The namespace you can customize. Now I will explain the whole flow of the server side. The first file to configure in the application is the web.xml file. The web.xml file will have two changes. First, something called as listener is configured. The listener is responsible to check the incoming messages and see if it is a SOAP message. If it is a SOAP message, then the control will be transferred to WS servlet. The web.xml has the listener as well as the servlet. The servlet will read the request and generate response. The web.xml has the listener and the servlet. The servlet will read request and generate response. The client is supposed to call an URL pattern called as mymath port as per the configuration. When the client calls mymath port as per the configuration mentioned here, the control will go to mymath delegate class. When the client calls mymath port as per the configuration mentioned in sun jax.ws XML file, the control will go to mymath delegate class. When the client calls mymath port as per the configuration mentioned here, the control will go to mymath delegate class. When the client calls mymath port as per the configuration mentioned here, the control will go to mymath delegate class. This information is configured in something called as sunjax.ws.xml file. That's all is the server side flow. First, the client calls mymath port, that is the URL pattern. When the client calls this particular pattern, the control will go to delegate class, that is the service endpoint interface. The service endpoint interface in turn will call the add method which is there in the mymath program. The client calls mymath port, the framework calls mymath delegate class, your logic is invoked. This whole communication will happen through SOAP. That is the work of the framework. When the client makes a request, the control goes to the front controller, that is WS Servlet. WS Servlet transfers the control to mymath delegate class, that is the service endpoint interface, which calls the actual logic. The incoming request will be through SOAP. The incoming request will be through SOAP. Now a response will be generated, that also will be through SOAP. The framework generates SOAP message as response. The framework generates SOAP message as response. Now this is the client side program. Still now I have explained the server side. The server side consists of a program what you write, also a delegate which I announced as the service endpoint interface, because that program is annotated with web service annotation. We have the web.xml file. As per the framework, we must configure the listener and the WS servlet. The listener and the servlet is responsible to take a request and transfer the control to the appropriate delegate class. The framework and the WS servlet is responsible to take a request and map it to a particular service endpoint interface class. The framework is responsible to take SOAP request, call the appropriate logic, and generate SOAP response back. And to generate SOAP response back, this is the client side program what we have. In the client side, we'll have three artifacts. One is the service class. Second is the JAXB related classes. One is the service class. Second is the JAXB related classes. And third is the delegate proxy. In the client side, you will have service class, JAXB generated classes, and the delegate class. In the client side, you should create an object of service class. The service class has got the code internally. The service class has got the code which is not mentioned here. You can look at the code in Eclipse, the service class code. If you look at the service class code, you will see that it is making URL connection to the web server, to the WSDL URL. The service class makes a URL connection to the web service. The service class is responsible to send SOAP messages to the server and to receive the SOAP response. We have the delegate class proxy. Same as the delegate class which is available on the server side, in the client side also one program will be generated. That I will call it as the proxy. Same as the delegate program, the service endpoint interface which is available on the server side, in the client side also one program will be generated. That is called as the proxy of the service class. That is called as the proxy of the delegate. That is called as the proxy of the service endpoint interface. But that proxy class will not have any logic. The proxy class only has the structure. It only has the method syntax. Now when the client calls methods on the proxy, when the client calls methods on the mymath delegate, that is the proxy, SOAP request will be generated and sent to server. SOAP response will be received back and you will get the output in Java. SOAP request will be sent to server when you call methods on the delegate class, that is a proxy, and you will get SOAP response back. You will get the output in Java. At the end of this example, we have the web service created and the web service client also created. The web service will be running in a remote location. The client will be running in another location. They might be using same technology or different technology. The communication happens through SOAP. SOAP request goes and SOAP response comes back. But the Java developer is not responsible to work with the stupid SOAP messages. But the Java developer is not responsible. The Java developer do not have to struggle with the stupid SOAP messages which are there in XML format. The framework takes the responsibility of generating all the required SOAP messages dynamically. So you have to follow this. Structure and generate server-side code and generate client-side code. All the coding will be mostly in terms of Java, but the communication will be internally through SOAP. Once again, I am showing the list of files on the server side and the client side. The server side consists of web.xml changes, the delegate, that is the service endpoint interface class, sunjax.ws XML file, two auto-generated classes, and the WSDL file. All of this will be packaged as a WAR file and deployed in the web server. All of this are packaged as a WAR file and deployed into a J2EE web server like Tomcat. In the client side, as I mentioned, we'll have the service class, the JAXB generated classes, and the proxy of service endpoint interface class. The client program what we will be writing based on the service JAXB generated classes and the proxy. The client program we will be writing based on the service class JAXB generated classes and the proxy. The web service side consists of the program what you write, the delegate class, that is the service endpoint interface, the WSDL file inside this folder, the sunjax.ws XML file, along with the required jax.ws jars. All of these are bundled and deployed into the web server as a WAR file. In the client side, you will have JAXB generated classes, and then we have the service class, the proxy delegate, the proxy of the delegate, the service class, the proxy of the delegate. The rest of the classes are related to JAXB. They are responsible to generate XML and responsible to convert from XML to objects, object to XML and XML to object. That is the work of JAXB related classes. And this is the client program what we write finally. This is the program what we write. I call it as the client program. This program is responsible to call methods on the proxy.